Alright, hey guys. So I am gonna start this $21 challenge for the week, and I picked up some stuff today. Um, and I got the totals of everything. I'll tell you guys that in a second. Uh, so you know, for my other video, the part one, I'm taking the stuff here and pairing it with the stuff that I already have at home. I have lots of stuff in my pantry and my freezer and my fridge. So to keep my spending down to a very minimum this week and in the following weeks, hopefully, I bought some stuff that's worth $21 right here, a little less than $21. I got 47 cents left. Um, and I'm going to make meals based on what I have with this, and hopefully they'll be nutritious, delicious meals. Now, I want to start off by saying I was very upset today. I went to my local Ben's outlet store that I've been going to for years, getting my bread, my wraps, and all that stuff. And usually I pay $1.59 for the wraps, bread, you name it. And then they had like little cards that every time you went, whatever you spent, they stamped off the cards. And then when your card was full, you ended up getting a free loaf of bread or bagels or wraps or whatever you chose. And I went today and they are permanently closed. They closed on Saturday, so I wasn't too impressed with that. So now I no longer have a Ben's outlet store to go to, and I have to pay an arm and a leg basically for my bread. So that kind of cut into my budget of what I was planning on spending. Uh, but I'll go over that in a second. So I bought some oats. I wrote oatmeal, but I bought some oats, and I wanted to see how many cups were in the bag that I bought. For it was $2.10 for the oats, and there's 11 cups, so I think that was like 19 cents per cup that equals out to be. And I just kind of put the directions on the front here. So that was $2.10, and then at the dollar store they have popcorn for $1.25. You get 3 of them, so I picked that up. Superstore had mushrooms on for 50% off. These were $1.75, so I figured I could sneak some mushrooms in there. Normally I get them at Walmart for, I think it's $2.50 roughly, $2.47. This was just a cheaper option, so I went with that, and it says 50% off, and they are in perfect condition. I'll eat those, we'll eat those up in the next couple days, so not worried about that. I also got these cans of tomato paste. They were 2 for $1. I got one for 50 cents. Got some pineapples for $1. Portion those out, and I could have those in my oatmeal or just as on their own or whatever. I have some apples in the fridge, so I could take a banana, half a banana, and make like my own fruit cocktail or whatever, what have you. Sorry. Got some bananas. Those were $1.52. I could have probably found some cheaper bananas. They were 89 cents a pound. So they're pretty big bananas. I'll probably, like I said, if I have a bowl of oatmeal, I'll probably only use a half a banana and then eat the other half throughout the day or something for a snack or whatever. Cheese was on for $4.99, the brand stuff. And then when I headed over to Walmart, they had their brand for $3.67, I believe. So I kind of kicked myself in the butt for that. Could have saved $1 or something on the cheese, but I couldn't to sit there and go back to the store where I bought this. Just wasn't worth it. So just to return it. And then the eggs were 2 for $49, $2.49 each. I thought they were 2 for $5. Well, almost 2 for $5, but they were $2.49, and we eat a lot of eggs, so I figured I could easily incorporate that into some meals, breakfasts. I can make some quiches, egg sandwiches, whatever. I had my meal plan already anyways for this week, so just throw some eggs in there for breakfast and whatever. And then my burritos, that was another thing that I wanted the eggs for. I was going to whip up some burritos. And then the no-name wraps that I ended up getting, they were $2.44 for the big ones, and there's 8 tortillas, which is ridiculous because I got 10 in the other one for $1.59. So this all came up to, oh, and I also got at Dairy Queen. I'll show you guys in a second. This is my decoration for my fridge. Lovely, eh? Some free ice creams from Dairy Queen, because when you buy there's like $7 meals, and my mom had given me some coupons, plus I had some, so I just got a bunch of free ice creams, kind of just snack throughout the week. Top that with some bananas or whatever. So this total came up to $20.53, I believe, and I am left with 47 cents. So I'm gonna make this last for the week, and hopefully most of it, like the oats, I know will roll over to the next week, so we will have oatmeal for a little while anyways. So I will bring you guys along when I cook the meals to show you guys what I make.
Alright, so it is day one of the $21 a week challenge, and I made some quick oats this morning for breakfast. The recipe called for a cup and a half of oats, and it got me 1, 2, and 3 cups of oatmeal out of that cup and a half, so that's pretty good. I used a little bit of a banana for mine, that's my son's, and the maple syrup is free because my dad makes it back at the sugar camp, so, and it's way better than the store-bought stuff. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit on, and that is going to be my breakfast this morning. And it only cost about 22 cents to make. Alright guys, it is now supper time. Well, it's 7:30, it's past supper time. Let me turn a light on here. So for lunch, it wasn't really on the menu plan. I ended up having a sandwich because we had places to go today, so I just made myself up a sandwich to eat around lunchtime. That happens 3 times a week, so usually I kind of forgot to put that in my meal plan. I usually eat sandwiches on those days, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I'm not gonna lie, this isn't the healthiest. I happened to find this in the bottom of my freezer, my fridge freezer. Didn't even know that it was there. So that's what I'm whipping up for supper tonight. My son ate next door with my parents, so this is what I'm whipping myself up. Nothing spectacular. It's a little bit of mashed potatoes and some chicken. So I'm gonna go finish watching my movie and eat my delicious TV dinner. And tomorrow we're gonna get right back into this 21-day challenge thing. So, but I still ate. I still had the bread and the sandwich meat and all that stuff. So, yeah, it wasn't, like I said, I didn't show you guys everything that I had. I showed you guys like what I bought with the $21, but that's to be used to pair with. But tomorrow it's not going to be boxed dinners. I will be whipping up something really good for lunch and supper. So stay tuned. Alright, so this morning for breakfast I am going to make some pancakes. I don't know how frugal this way is. I have 3 or 4 different ways to make pancakes, and I'm going to eventually see which one is cheaper, but I seen this recipe on YouTube. They used 1/3 of a cup of oats, and I just blended that up in my grinder, my Magic Bullet. And I got 2 eggs and a banana. So now that the oats are grinded up, I'm going to go ahead and add the eggs and bananas and grind that all together. And just for the record, I do not throw out my eggshells or like any type of food like that. My eggshells go into a bin, and then eventually I grind them up and I use them either in my compost or around my plants and things like that, and my banana peel will go into the compost. So I just left a little bit of the banana so that when my son wakes up and he has like cereal or whatever, he can have a couple pieces of banana with that. So there's my eggs and my banana and my oats at the bottom. So I'm going to grind that up and cook up my pancakes, and I'll show you what they look like. So so they are almost cooked. That one I kind of burnt a little bit, but we'll still eat it. So there's 1, there's 5, 6, 7. This one was a little bit big, but we can cut that in half. So out of that little mixture, we got 7 little pancakes, perfect for 2 people for breakfast. So I quickly did up the math for the pancakes, and for the 7 of them, it cost me 84 cents to make. So they were 20 cents an egg, 38 cents for the banana, which I know I could get cheaper, but I had grabbed the pack of 4, a bundle of 4, and they came up to $1.52. So 38 cents for that, and it was I only used a quarter of the cup of the oats, so that was 6 cents. So that makes 84 cents worth of pancakes, and I think that's a pretty good deal, and they taste awesome. Alright, so day number 2 for lunch, I just made some rice, like a baked rice. I did the rice in the slow cooker, and I put some peas on top, and I have some leftover chicken that I'm going to cut up, put on the top, and maybe a little bit of cheese, and bake that for today's lunch. Alright, that's ready for the oven. Alright, so for supper on day 2, I'm gonna make a shepherd's pie. I had some hamburger in the freezer, I had some corn in the freezer, and this is a frozen thing of mashed potatoes that I had in the freezer. Whenever we make potatoes and there's some left, I just freeze them flat in a sandwich bag or whatever, and then whenever I need it, I don't have to deal with boiling potatoes and all that. I just set that on top, and once that all cooks, it'll just kind of even itself out. So that is tonight's supper. Alright, so this is lunch on day number 3. I just have some macaroni and a little bit of hamburger, and then I just topped it with some cheese. I got some Cheez Whiz and some tomato juice. So that is lunch for day number 3. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about tonight's supper. I made 1 cup of rice, and it equaled out to be 3 cups when it was cooked. So I have my cup of rice right here ready to go, and in here I have 5 pieces of shrimp and about 20 cents worth of mushrooms. So I'm going to separate that into 2 meals, and then there'll be a cup of rice left. Either we'll eat it tomorrow, or I will put it into the freezer for soups and stuff, just kind of ready to be used, thrown in at the last minute, and boom, you've got yourself another meal out of that rice. So what it boils down to is so the rice is 26 cents a cup, but you're dividing that into, after it's cooked, there's actually 3 cups, so I divided that into 3, which is 9 cents for this portion of rice. The shrimp, I'm going to take 3 and I'll give my son 2 of them, so that's 63 cents for the 3 shrimp. And then, like I said, I got about 20 cents worth of mushrooms, but I'm going to separate them into 2, so 10 cents. So basically this meal is going to equal out to be 82 cents per meal, basically. 82 cents for me, and probably less for my son because he's not having 3 shrimp, he's having 2, so. And then there's 1 cup of rice left, which it's not going to have the rice and the mushrooms and all that, but it'll still be 9 cents worth of rice I can pop into the freezer for a soup or something like that. So that is tonight's supper. And everything was fried in garlic butter. I even put some in with the rice when it was cooking, so factor that in, and a little bit of soya sauce. It cost me less than 90 cents to make this dinner, so that's pretty good. Alright, so for lunch, I just made some beef and broccoli. I put some onions in there, and then I just put a little bit of water, added some cornstarch just to thicken it up a little bit. The beef was marinating in soy sauce and garlic and that type of thing overnight. So I cooked that up. And I also made a homemade soup. I just have some like broth, this stuff, and just add a little bit to water. And I had some soup noodles, and I just took a couple of my onions from my beef and broccoli, and I threw them in there. So I made a homemade soup, and which brings me to this for lunch. So for supper, I will probably end up just taking some of the leftover rice and some of the beef and broccoli and eating that up so it doesn't go to waste. Alright, it is supper time, and I'm just not really that hungry, so I just took a little bowl of rice and the leftover beef and broccoli, and that is what I am having for supper tonight.
Alright, for supper I am having some rice. I just cooked it in our rice cooker, and we added a little bit of like poultry seasoning. That's why it's yellow. And then I had made a great big thing of chili, which I had all the ingredients kicking around in my pantry and my deep freeze and all that. I just used it up, made a great big thing of it, and I just put a little bit on top of the rice. So that is tonight's supper.
So this is my supper on the final day. I just pulled out one of these Egg McMuffins from the freezer, and that's what I'm going to have for supper. For lunch today, I had a sandwich, and for breakfast, I had some oatmeal. So that finishes up the 7 days for the $21 challenge. I'm going to kind of recap everything and give you guys sort of like the breakdown of everything. I just gotta gather everything together, and I'll be right back. Alright, hey guys, so I just want to finish off this food challenge that I did. So I want to kind of quickly go through what I ate for the week, and then I want to finish the video off. I posted pretty well all the things that I did eat. There's sometimes that I didn't because I kind of forgot about it, but for the most part, I vlogged what I ate. So for the first day, you guys saw I had oatmeal with bananas, and then I had a sandwich for lunch and that TV dinner that I found in my deep freeze, in the bottom of my deep freeze on day 1. Day 2, I made those homemade pancakes with the oats, the eggs, and the bananas. Or the banana, rather. Then I had baked rice and shepherd's pie. And then the next day, I had given my son whatever was left of the shepherd's pie for his lunch. And then day 3, I just had some cereal. I wasn't really thinking that I didn't vlog that, but then I made that homemade mac and cheese, or macaroni and hamburger, whatever you want to call it. And then I had rice and shrimp for that supper that night. Day 4, I had oatmeal again. Leftover mac and cheese from the day before, and then I made those homemade pizzas on the hamburger buns. On day 5, I just had toast with some eggs. Then I had the beef and broccoli wraps with soup, and then for supper, I had the rest of the beef and broccoli over some rice. Day 6, again, cereal, sandwich for lunch, and then I had rice topped with chili. I had made a big pot of chili, so I just used some of that up, and then I ended up, I think I had used up like some hamburger that I had in my freezer to make the chili, and I had a can of beans and that type of thing, so it made a huge pot of chili, and I think I ended up eating we had a couple bowls of chili, and I had 7 bags to put in the freezer, so that was pretty good. Excuse me. And then on the last day, I had oatmeal, which I had bought a ton of oatmeal, so I still have some oatmeal left. I also had a sandwich that day, and then I had the egg and sausage McMuffin for supper. It was just a simple supper. So this is what I have left of the oatmeal, still quite a bit. So I could probably have oatmeal like every day for lunch, for breakfast, and it would probably still last me another week. So that was the end of the 7-day $21 for the week challenge. Now I'm kind of doing another challenge where when we see cans on the side of the road, we pick them up. So I'm trying to accumulate enough money to do kind of like another challenge like this, but obviously the food is going to be completely free because I'm picking up cans on the side of the road. We're going to bring them in and get money for them, and I will get my groceries based on whatever amount is there with the cans. So I hope you guys enjoyed this challenge. It was really fun for me to do. Uh, it wasn't like a huge challenge or nothing, and I still have a ton of stuff left around the house, so I might do another week worth of this. I don't quite know that I need to pick anything up per se. Like I bought some bananas yesterday. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 because I ate one this morning. So I had 11 bananas and I paid $1 for them on the discount shelf at Walmart. So we're going to eat up as much as we can. Oh yeah, there was 12 because my son took one for his lunch this morning for his snack for school. So there was 12 bananas for $1. I think that was awesome compared to the other. When I did my challenge, I think I got 4 bananas for $1.56 or something like that. So that was obviously a lot better. I'm going to eat them until they're not edible anymore, and then I will throw them into my deep freeze, and then I can use them to bake stuff and whatever, but that's a whole new other ball game. Anyways, I'm going to go through right now and see what I have, so I hope you guys enjoyed this challenge. Give it a big thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching.